listening to the Dynamic Women podcast. Each week, you'll be inspired by our global community of women. They'll share with you tools and stories to help you be dynamic in every area of life. Here's your host, award-winning coach, and the CEO and founder of Dynamic Women, Diane Rolston.
Your big girl panties, she told me. Hello, lovely dynamic women, and welcome to the Dynamic Women podcast. I am Diane Rolston. I am your host. And today, I'm going to talk about how one of my business advisors in the beginning of my business told me, Diane, pull up your big girl panties and make some big girl decisions in your business. Why? Why do you want to do this? More clients, more success, and more money, really. So why was this statement mentioned? Well, a lot of us, when we get into business, we are really good at what we do. And so if you've read the E-Myth, you'll understand kind of the idea of the three different areas of someone who has a business. And I'll kind of briefly explain it just so you can kind of grasp this concept. So when we start off in business, a lot of times we start off because we're really good at what we do, our skill, our trade, whatever it may be. And so for me, coaching, speaking, training, and then later writing a book and running a women's community. And so in doing these things, we think, oh man, we're so good at these. And so this often happens when an accountant works for an accounting firm, or you have a graphic designer working for a branding marketing firm. And so you have your skill. So you are the technician, is what it's called in the E-Myth, a technician, because you're really good at what you do. And so the technician working for someone else starts to get annoyed and says, oh my gosh, I'm getting out of here. I don't want to work for someone else anymore. I don't want to make them money. I want to make myself money. And so they leave to go and start their own business. And so as they're doing their own business, doing the technician roles, doing what they're really good at, they're working on it, it's going really well. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I maybe need some new clients, right? And so they don't have a manager. They don't have someone to manage them. So while they're doing the actual fulfillment for their clients, they're not bringing any new business in. And marketing your business should be 49% of your business, with 2% in sales and then the rest in the fulfillment stage. So when you're a technician, you're focusing just on fulfillment. That's what you're really good at. You're not into the branding and the marketing and the sales and all that other piece. And you don't know where you're going. So that's the CEO role. The CEO role is the one who is the visionary, the one who's going to take you forward, the one that's going to have the business plan, the one is going to say like all the things that need to be done and really put a trajectory to like where you need to be going in the next year or so. So with no CEO, you have no vision. And then if you're just staying in technician, that means you are not following any plan. You're just kind of doing the work. And then if you need to hire anyone, there's no manager there to hire anyone. So it becomes very lonely. You don't bring in any sales. So anyway, why am I talking about this piece? Well, the whole line of pull up your big girl panties is because I got into what I was doing, but I wasn't necessarily standing in the CEO role. I wasn't stepping into the manager role. And the biggest way that this was showing up was I was making emotional decisions rather than business decisions. And how can that show up? Well, there's times when I get so close as a coach to my clients and then, they run into some trouble or whatever. And I give them extra support or, that idea of they can't pay. And so I want to help everyone. But the CEO and the manager, well, they'd have some rules around that. Right? And so that's their role. And so pull up your big girl panties means come on, step into that bigger power role, step into that business space and make those tough decisions. So for all my guys out there listening, I guess it would be pull up your big boy panties or big boy underwear, big boy boxers rather than your big girl panties. And so I realized that around my finances in the early stages of my business, my actions were not reflecting that CEO role. My decision making was not reflecting the CEO role. It was reflecting the technician, the one who is close to the client, the one whose heart bleeds for the client, and what the technician was maybe joyful in doing, right? Have you ever done that? Have you ever thought like you're doing something in your business that's like so amazing and so good for people, but you haven't done the actual like checking of, is this really viable? What are my key performance indicators on this? What are my profit and losses on this product or service? And then getting really ruthless and like cutting out things that just don't fit. That's where this really can show up. And so there's 3 things that you really have to be thinking about and ask yourself, am I wearing my big girl panties in this space, in this time, when you need to make hard decisions? Are you making the hard decisions that, number 1, serve you? Now, yes, we need to serve our clients. I totally get that. But what we want to focus on is serving you and the business's success to the highest point with those clients, right? If you're only going to serve the clients, you're going to feel unfulfilled. Maybe you feel resentment. Maybe you feel like you're not getting where you need to be in the business. So you need to be serving you. Also, this means, are you working on the weekends when you don't want to? Are you working with clients that you don't want to? Are you doing different tasks or agreeing to different projects that you don't want to do? So you need to make, first thing is hard decisions that serve you. And of course, with the caveat that you have to also be thinking of that these things also serve your clients. The next thing is you need to make sure that you are making decisions from a place of, that big girl, pulling up your big girl panties, decisions that serve your goals. And so what does this look like? Well, we get shiny objects all the time. We actually get fabulous opportunities all the time. And it's knowing that you've got the blinders on enough that you maybe see an opportunity, you see something else coming your way, and then at that point you can say, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to do that because that's not serving my goals. And this isn't goals in like for all of life, for the next 10 years. This is goals like immediate goals. Immediate goals. Does this serve your immediate goals? That's where you have to make the tough decisions. That's where you have to sit in that CEO role. Pull up your big girl panties, sit in that CEO role, and make the decisions that serve your goals. And the first one, make decisions that serve you. And the last is make business decisions, decisions that serve the business. And I get that, like, you maybe have a place for people and want to, like, in your heart, and you just want to work with everybody, and you want to give to everyone, you want to serve everyone. Then make a business decision about that. Create a foundation, create a scholarship program, create some boundaries on the giving. So maybe you give a certain program away, like give it away to, maybe 2 deserving students, or maybe you give 10% of all profits to your foundation or something. Have something in place that is a business decision so that when you're not in that emotional place, you're not making a decision from there. You've got boundaries. And what this helps with, because I have 2 sponsored spots in my business, I allow 2 people to come into my business at a reduced rate that they can afford, because otherwise they would never be able to work with me. And this is comes up when I have a desire to work with them and they have a desire to work with me. There's kind of a funny dance that happens, actually a really not funny dance, a natural dance that happens in this moment. And, but there's 2. What that does is it helps me to talk to them about moving them out of these spots, helping them to grow enough where they can afford my full rate. And then also when people come to me and they ask if those 2 spots are filled, well, the business has made a decision that there will be 2 spots. So even if you are a solopreneur, even if you're a sole proprietor, even if you're incorporated and you are the only one in your business, this helps you, these boundaries, to make business decisions. And so I ask you today, girl, How many times do you need to pull up your big girl panties? Do you need to make these hard decisions? Where do you need to make these hard decisions? Are they serving you? Are they not serving you? You know, to hear that from my business advisor years ago, it was a little bit in my face because I wasn't doing it. I was totally making emotional decisions, and it wasn't just hurting me in my business, but in the end, it was also hurting my clients. And so I hope that this information, that this insight will help you to think next time when you go to make a decision, and not just in your business, but in every area of your life, with your friends, in your marriage if you're married, or in your partnership with someone, or in your how you are with your family, in how you are in your volunteering positions, how you are with your health, in every single area of life. I hope that you make decisions that, number one, serve you, number two, serve your goals, and number three, serve your business and or life decisions. Okay, until next time, everyone. Thanks for coming. Stay dynamic.
Thank you, Dynamic Women, for joining us today. Please hop on over to iTunes to subscribe and leave us a review. Who do you know who needs to hear our message? We'd love it if you'd share our channel with your friends and family. If you're ready to be more dynamic, have more balance and more success, head over to www.dynamicwomenclub.com/free gift for your Key to Success book. Stay dynamic.